Today, I'm going to talk about why willpower and self-control don't help you lose weight and what to do instead, what to look for instead. So, when programs tell you you need more willpower or more self-control or discipline, to me, that's client fault-based. That is blaming you when you don't succeed with their programs. But let's be real, let's be honest about the weight loss industry. We all know about the yo-yo diet cycle, and people go on diets and go on diets over and over again. And often they will really establish that they've done everything that they were told to do. And either they don't get where they were going, or they may get temporarily somewhere, but on the yo-yo diet cycle, they end back where they started. And that is not your fault. You are not to blame. The yo-yo diet cycle is the result of the weight loss industry and the programs in it that are not sustainable, that don't give permanent weight loss, that don't give you the strategies that you need to lose weight. And I'm going to be talking about that in detail. But first, I want to start out by assuring you, you are not to blame. It is not your fault. You need to be supported with programs that deal with the obstacles and that remove the obstacles that keep you stuck in holding weight. And the traditional programs out there that essentially are just diet or exercise don't address all of the factors that keep you stuck in holding weight. And especially, they don't help you speed up your metabolism. Diet and exercise are external based. They don't change the process going on in your body. And you can starve and deprive yourself and count calories, but if your body is not moving, if it is not a high metabolism, if you're not burning calories, then you're not losing weight. And that's not your fault if you're given a diet that doesn't address your metabolism. So again, today I'm going to be working to reassure you it is not your fault. You are not to blame. The yo-yo diet cycle is not giving programs with what I call obstacle breakers that help you get out of where you're stuck. Those programs are very limited. And I'm going to talk in the later part of my program today on what to look for to know that you have a program that addresses those issues. Again, the traditional programs that we hear about are fad, extreme, restrictive, limiting programs. They tell you to starve, to deprive yourself so that you don't have calories coming in. They tell you to do boot camp and over-exercise. That can be exhausting and really take up time that most people don't have in their life, certainly sustainably. And you're told to eat with narrow categories of food: high fat, low fat, high protein, low protein, high this, low that. And that is really not a normal relationship with food that we grow up with, that we have in society that's available to us. So all of these fad, extreme, restrictive programs are really hard to follow. And I'm going to express it to you the way I see it, which I really empathize with the clients who come to me. These programs are crazy, fad, extreme diets. They're really hard to follow. And then they turn around and blame you and say, you didn't have willpower, you didn't have self-discipline. Well, how long can you be expected to starve and deprive yourself? Should you count calories of every piece of food you put into your mouth? How much time do they think you have to exercise? And it can be stressful. And anything that causes stress closes down the calorie burning system in our bodies and slows metabolism. those stress hormones, which are often released when we're on these crazy restrictive programs. Stress hormones, slow metabolism, and slow calorie burning, neither of which helps weight loss. So again, it's not your fault. You are not to blame. You deserve programs that are not fault-based, but are that supportive-based, that give you what you need to get out of being stuck in holding weight. Not extreme restrictive programs that are really crazy and not sustainable for bodies, and what creates the yo-yo diet cycle where people eventually go back to their weight. So I love, it's easier to have this conversation in person, so I make sure people understand that. And I'm going to ask you, whether you're watching this live or on the replay, can you put in the comments whether this makes sense to you, how I'm explaining to you? It is not your fault. You are not to blame. These crazy programs are just hard to follow, and they don't even have facets that you need to get unstuck. They don't address the root causes. And as long as you still continue to have your root cause that makes you hold on to pounds and keeps you in slow metabolism, you're not going to burn those calories and lose weight. Again, it's not your fault. You are not to blame. Let's talk more and build so that you can understand how you can be helped and what you can do. Let's talk about those skinny people who can eat everything and anything. Now, they don't starve themselves, right? They eat everything. They don't deprive themselves of food. They don't boot camp and over-exercise unless it's something that they love to do. And they don't eat within narrow categories of food, like all high fat or low fat, or all high protein or low protein. They eat everything that they want. So what's the difference between those skinny people and people who hold weight? What do they have that you don't have? And the answer for most people is they have a fast, active, vibrant, healthy metabolism. And most people who feel stuck in weight have a slow metabolism. And any of these diet programs, these traditional, conventional programs that only talk about diet, what you put into your body externally, and exercise, how you move your body, but not specifically how the process inside the body is moderated, those really don't move you into fast metabolism. And what you really need is support and guidance to escalate, kickstart, jumpstart, and elevate your metabolism so that you're burning calories, so that you're not stuck in holding your weight and trying to starve, but instead that your body is learning how to process calories and food in a healthy, vibrant, efficient, effective way. That, my friends, is the way to make sustainable and significant weight loss, to address the underlying problem, not with a fault-based program, not blaming you for what their program doesn't do, but by giving you a program that does remove the root causes so that you no longer have a reason to hold weight, so that you move your body to a fast metabolism where calories burn easily and normally, not where you have a slow metabolism where you feel stuck in holding weight. Again, you deserve to be supported with what your needs are. Now, slow metabolism is one example of obstacles, but you need to be aware of what all of your obstacles are. So for some people, obstacles include sugar cravings, or stress eating, or comfort eating. For some, it includes thyroid problems or hormonal problems like post-pregnancy weight or menopausal weight, either perimenopause or postmenopausal weight. For some people, there are other physical problems. And with the pattern eating, the stress eating, and sugar cravings, sometimes there's night snacking as well, or other eating patterns, binging. We need, and you need, to really get a clear understanding of what your obstacles are, so that you have a program that addresses all of those obstacles and is an obstacle breaker that helps you remove those obstacles. Again, those diet programs, those exercise programs, they don't change what's going on in your body. Again, one of the reasons why you don't get the results you want. And it's not because you didn't have willpower or self-control or motivation or discipline. It's because those programs didn't change how you process food in your body and whether, in fact, you burn calories or not. So I want to reassure you, and again, I'm going to ask you, I hope this is making sense to people. I'm hoping people will leave comments in the comments section of our program, that you understand my explanation to you. It is not your fault. You are not to blame if you're given programs that are fad and extreme and restrictive and limited, and most importantly, don't eliminate your obstacles, your underlying causes that keep you in holding weight. Imagine if you were driving a car along a road that had physical roadblocks and walls and boxes and roads blocked and you couldn't get by. Well, that's what it's like when you're trying to go on a pathway where there are roadblocks that are not removed for you. What we need to do is remove those roadblocks so it's like driving down a smooth, gliding, shiny road, and you can get right where you're going to your weight goal. So I urge you to make a list of your obstacles. If you are interested, I do have a sheet available that I can provide to you that will help you look at the whole set of obstacles that people often have, and you can check off what you feel applies to you. I do give that to anybody who calls me. That's the best way of me getting that for you. If you set up an appointment, I'm happy to get the sheet to you and to go over it with you to help you figure out what you need to do to address those obstacles. And I also want to guide you what you need to do to know if a program is really going to address your needs. I'm going to have you use the word SOAPs, S-O-A-P-S. And each of those letters will give you a quality of a characteristic of programs that you need. So SOAPs, S, is any system has to be sustainable because you want to have permanent weight loss. So any program that tells you to starve or deprive yourself or do extreme exercise that you know you can't do for the rest of your life is not a permanent program. You're going to end up in the yo-yo diet cycle, because when you stop doing whatever it is that you've been doing temporarily, be it starving or over-exercising, when you go back to your old patterns of life, that's when the weight comes back on. So any program has to sound sustainable and reasonable. For O, S-O, O, it has to be an obstacle breaker. It has to address each of the obstacles on your personal profile. Again, if you would like help to write a sheet out and determine what your obstacles are, so you can decide and determine what it is you need and what you want, I'm happy to work on that with you, no charge. I have a number of limited free phone calls that you'll find. I will put my calendar in the comments section later tonight. SOA. So A is attainable and practical. Any program has to be reasonable and practical. these crazy, fad, extreme, restrictive programs that you really don't see yourself staying on forever. If it's not something that you feel comfortable with and say, this would be a great way to live, I'd be comfortable with that, then it's really not something that's going to give you long-term success. P, A is attainable and practical. That's A and P. P is practical. And again, we talk about practical and realistic, not crazy, fad, or extreme. It's got to be logical, make sense, doable. And the last S is supportive. You have to have somebody who's supportive of you, not blame-based and fault-based, but a program that will support you. There are ups and downs and questions that occur when people are on weight loss, and you need to have somebody who understands the science, the biochemical process of calorie burning and bringing your metabolism up to burning level. Not somebody who just reads off of a list of rules of what you can eat and what you can't eat, but somebody who can understand your system, your obstacles, how to get rid of your root causes. And the final, I talked about S as the final letter, is in addition to support-driven, and we had the first S is sustainable. There's one more, and that's stages. So weight loss occurs in stages. There are different things that you do when you're starting a weight loss program, different things you do as you're moving actively to where you want to go, and different things you're going to do when you're trying to lose your last 5 or 10 pounds to get to your final weight loss position. And weight loss is just not one program like any of these yo-yo diet programs tell you. There are different stages, especially when you have a few obstacles. You have to go in the correct order to get rid of proper obstacles in the right order, at the right stage, and to implement all of your actions at the right time. And again, all of your actions, the programs that are just one unit, like just diet or just exercise, or even both diet and exercise, it's not enough. It doesn't address your metabolism. It doesn't address your obstacles. It doesn't address the underlying root causes. Those are the things we need to do. And you need a program with soaps that will wash away your obstacles and the issues that are keeping you in holding weight. You don't want a program that's crazy, fad, extreme, and then blames you and faults you for not succeeding with their crazy, fad, extreme program. Promise me that you feel better about that. That is so important to me. I see that so often in people, and I want to help people take that blame away. You don't need that blame. You don't want a program that's blame-based and fault-based. You do want a program that's support-based and that can help you and that understands your obstacles, that can help you implement the various stages and order of getting rid of the obstacles and help you get to your permanent weight loss goal. So I hope that makes sense to you, especially about getting rid of the fault and blame. If you would like more personal information about making an actual list of what your obstacles are and how you can get rid of those obstacles, and again, it's different for different people, so I can't give you one model here, like all of these yo-yo programs give you one model. There is not one model. Different people have different strategies, and even people who have the same obstacle, like sometimes people who have sugar cravings have different underlying root causes that are causing the sugar cravings. So there are many different methods that I implement with my clients to easily get those problems to be eliminated so that you can go through life and you don't have to have them forever, because when you get rid of them, it's like clearing the road of the bumps and the cracks and the boxes along the way, and it makes the road smooth and easy to glide. And that, my friends, is when you reach your weight loss goal. So let's do this. Let's get this going for you. Let's get it out of the way and done. Let's get you looking in the mirror, loving how you look, wearing those fashions with those tiny belts around your waist that you would love to wear but wouldn't dream of yet. And let's get this done for you. And most importantly, let's stop the blame and the fault. It is not your fault. You are entitled to support. Let's get this going for you. So remember, I do have some free appointments available if you'd like to discuss my sheet that I have to create your profile of obstacles. If you have any questions about today's programs. Again, I have a limited number of phone appointments. I've been speaking to a bunch of you, and I've really been enjoying getting to know the people in the group, getting to know you, and giving you real answers. So I'm happy to speak to you. If you have any questions or issues, I will see you back here again next Sunday at our regular time, 7:30 Eastern Time. And let's get going for you. Let's get this moving. Let's get momentum, and let's get you where you want to be.